alarms to the ventilator and the ECMO machine started, going crazy. And all of a sudden she said that she saw so many people start rushing in, and she could see the blood just, the color just going away from my face, And she said at that moment she felt like that was it. So I caught COVID, as much as I tried to avoid it. August 27th, I was admitted into Mayo Clinic. The day before I had gone to another hospital and they diagnosed me with pneumonia from COVID. They admitted me and put me on oxygen. One key moment that I remember before everything started going downhill, there was this one lady that was walking down the hall and she stopped right in front of the door. It was a glass wall and glass door. And this is someone I hadn't been interacting with or anything. And she walks in, she opens the door and she says, can we pray? And I said, absolutely. So she comes in, we hold hands and she says a prayer that to this day, I remember, how I felt and just like the peace and the calm, that I felt at that moment with the uncertainty. September 4th, things got worse. So they moved me to ICU. I felt something on my neck. It felt like it was blowing up like a balloon. Yeah. And, I managed to get the nurse to come in and check it out. Not long after, the doctor came in and she grabs my hand and, she says, we're gonna need to intubate you. I grabbed the doctor's hand and I said, do what you need to do. Consider this my approval, whatever you have to do to get me out of here, to save my life, do it.
They put her under a medically induced coma. So it was weeks, I would call the doctors, the hospital, get whatever kind of information that I could get.
This information I got from my sister, and one of the situations that she said that occurred was there was a moment where everything seemed like it was going fine, and then all of a sudden one day, from 1 minute to the next, the alarms to the ventilator and the ECMO machine started, going crazy. And all of a sudden she said that she saw so many people start rushing in, and she could see the blood just, the color just going away from my face, And she said at that moment she felt like that was it. I remember a moment where it was black, it was darkness, and I heard, in the darkness, I heard the alarm. And I remember hearing, people saying, we're losing her. And I remember, someone saying, hold on. At that moment, I remember calling out to him, to God, to save me, to help me. Next thing I remember is I woke up, and alive, and after, I woke up and got out of the hospital and went back home, I just was so thankful that he saved me. Like they say, he left the 99 for me. Before that whole situation happened, I'll admit that I wasn't living a life following, God or following Jesus. I had my faith, but I wasn't living, a Christian life, So for me, I had such gratitude that considering everything I did before, how I lived previously, that he forgave me, he it's a second chance, and I wanted to make sure that second chance wasn't wasted, I wanted to make sure that that I told people about what he did.
Being agnostic for, years, just seeing her, day in and day out reading the Bible, and she got me to come to church, and she was telling me, I'm gonna get baptized. I started thinking about it, and this is when I was, coming to the belief, in my own, and I thought about doing it also with her. The last couple months have been life-changing. Being baptized kind of just, it was overwhelming, and our daughter decided to join us last minute. You know, she was sitting here listening to Pastor Owen, and she's like, I'm gonna go.
Like me personally, who I was before and who I am now, it's like completely like unrecognizable. If you knew me back then and like see me now, this had to happen. Like me getting hospitalized and being in a coma and nearly dying had to happen. And I'm thankful. You know, I'm thankful for it because, like I said, I'm not who I used to be.